lenses. So what is meant by a lens? Okay. So any transparent double refracting surface is called a lens. Are you able to understand, ma? Any piece of glass, you can call it as a lens, but it should have two refracting surfaces. Okay. So there are many types of lenses, ma. Convex lens, concave lens, concavo-convex lens, convexo-concave lens, single planar convex lens, double planar convex lens, single plane concave lens. Many types of lenses are there. But at to NEET level, we are studying about only 3 or 4 types of lenses, ma. For example, what is this kind of lens? This is called as double convex lens. Clear? Then this one, you can call it as a double concave lens. Okay. Then if you take this lens, this is called as plano convex lens, and this one you can call it as plano concave lens. Are you able to understand? So these are the lenses which we study in this topic. There are other lenses which we are not going to study now. So we are studying about these lenses. See ma, here, if you take this lens, it has two refracting surfaces. Okay. For example, this is one refracting surface. Okay. This surface, and this is also another refracting surface. So it is made up of two spheres. I can say like this. Are you able to understand? So this is one refracting surface. This is another refracting surface. So this refracting surface is made up of a radius of curvature R1, and this refracting surface, it is made up of radius of curvature R2. Are you able to understand? So I can say that this sphere, it can be made of this lens, it can be made of two spheres also, I can say. And the radius of curvatures, they may be equal, they may not be equal also. Okay. So radius of curvature of this one is R1, radius of curvature of this one is R2. So different radius may also be present. Okay. Now what about this one? This one is also, it should be made of one sphere, this side. Okay. So similarly this side also, this also should have been made from another sphere. Here also radius of curvature may be equal, may not be equal. Clear? So radius of curvature of the first surface, I can call it as R1, and radius of curvature of the second surface, I can call it as R. Radius of curvature means nothing but radius of the sphere from which this lens is made up of. Okay. Now if you see this one, clear ma? If you see the first surface radius of curvature is how much? Can you say? This is what kind of lens? This is plano convex lens, no ma? It means one side it is completely plane, and the second side it is a refracting surface. Okay. So first side, can you say what will be its radius of curvature? Alochinchandi. Radius of curvature of first surface is how much? No. Radius of curvature means what? Radius of the sphere of which this surface is made up of. So we have drawn this surface, no ma? We completed this one into a sphere, and I got the radius of curvature. Fine. Now if you complete this straight line into a circle, what will be the radius of curvature? You will get 0 vastunda. You will get infinity. See ma, from a straight line, how much bigger radius you can draw? You have to draw infinitely bigger circle, then only it appears to be a straight line. So if a curve is small, you will draw a very small circle. Curve is big, you will get a bigger circle. Curve is a straight line, you will get infinite circle. Are you able to understand? So for this surface, radius of curvature will be infinite. Are you able to understand? So therefore R1 I can say it is infinite. Okay. So then what about radius of the second surface? Radius of the second surface is R. That is okay. Are you able to understand what is happening here? Similarly, what about radius of curvature of this one? R1. R1 is how much? Chappan tvarga? Infinite. Because it is also straight line. No? Are you able to understand? And radius of curvature of this one you can call something to be r. So this is how first of all you have to draw the radius of curvatures. అర్థమవుతుంది కదా? So lenses may not have or may have same radius of curvature or different radii of curvature also, but definitely both sides they will behave like refracting surfaces. So this is also a refracting surface, this is also a refracting surface. Fine ma? Come on, make it out. As concave lens. Clear ma? For example, if you take a convex lens, so this is how convex lens appears now ma? Or to say more precisely, you can call it as a double convex lens also. Okay? And this you can call it as the aperture of this lens. Aperture. What is meant by aperture? The length through which refraction takes place, that is called as aperture. Okay? And in the mirror, we studied about pole of a mirror, no, geometrical center, pole of a mirror. Similarly, lenses will have O, which is called as optical center. Optical center. Are you able to understand? No? So, if any light ray passes through the optical center, it will pass undeviated. There will not be any deviation. Are you able to understand? No? If light ray passes through the optical center, there will not be any deviation. It means it will travel in the same path. Are you able to understand? But if the what you call thickness of the lens is greater, if it is not a thin lens, then there will be some lateral displacement also that we will study afterwards. First of all, let us see how refraction takes place in the case of a lens. Okay? For example, let us say this is the normal. First of all, we shall draw the normal here, which is the normal. Consider this is a normal. Okay? At the first refracting surface. Okay? So light ray comes and falls on the normal. Okay? Now light is entering from which medium to which medium? Light is entering from rarer medium to denser medium. So what will light happen? What happens to the speed of light? Speed reduces and it bends towards the normal. So actually it should travel in this direction. No? But what happens is it bends towards the normal and it will reach the second refracting surface. This is what will happen now. And here again I will draw the second normal. So this is another normal. Are you able to understand? Now here what is happening? Light is again entering from denser medium to rarer medium. This is what is happening now. So actually here light should travel in this direction. Okay? But here what will happen? Here it will travel away from the normal. This is what will happen now. So when light is entering from rarer medium to denser medium, it is bending towards the normal. But when light is entering from denser medium to rarer medium, it is bending away from the normal. Actually it should travel like this, no? But it is bending away from the normal. So this is what happens when light enters what kind of lens ma? Convex lens. So refraction takes place at both surfaces. First surface as well as second surface. Are you able to understand? Okay. But generally we don't represent both refractions. We represent only one refraction in the diagram. ప్రతిసారి రెండు వేయాలంటే కష్టం కదా. So what I do, just I will take. So this is a thin lens. Thin lens means what? Thickness of the lens is very small. Are you able to understand? No? This is the principal axis. This is the optical center. Consider if an object is present here. So light from this object goes and strikes the mirror. Then it is deviated like this. Okay. So therefore, for example, if I draw one more light ray like this, so this also goes and these two light rays they meet here. It means this is the object and what is this one? This one is the image. So how light rays are striking this lens? Converging light rays are striking the lens. Converging light rays. Light rays which are moving away from each other, they are striking the lens. Okay. But finally what happened? These converging light rays, they have, these are diverging, these are not converging, they are diverging light rays. They are moving away from each other, no, diverging light rays. These diverging light rays, finally they are converging. They are meeting at one point. Are you able to understand? So therefore, a convex lens, what you can call it as a convex lens? It is a converging lens. Convex lens is always a converging. So therefore, what I say that convex lens is a converging lens. Okay. So what is meant by converging lens? So it makes light rays to bend towards the principal axis. Okay. So here can I say focus is a real focus or a virtual focus? Definitely it will be a real focus. No? Why it is a real focus? Because light rays originally they go and touch the principal axis. Okay. For example, if I take this another convex lens, Are you able to understand? Ma? So this is the principal axis. Okay. So light rays are traveling parallel to the principal axis. Okay, ma? Light rays traveling parallel to the principal axis. So definitely where they will converge at the focus. Are you able to understand? So what is the focal length here? Focal length I have to measure from the optical center itself, no? So this distance is called as focal length. Okay. So convex lens, it has a real focus, no? Ma? There is no virtual focus here. Actual light rays, they are going and touching the focus. Clear, no? So therefore, convex lens has real focus. Okay. Similarly, can you draw the diagrams for concave lens? This type of diagram, can you draw for concave lens? Try check. Double concave lens. Okay, ma? So let us draw the normal at one condition. So consider this is the normal. Okay, ma? So light ray falling like this. Actually, it should travel like this, no? But it will bend towards the north. This is what it will happen, no? Because light is entering from rarer to denser medium, it will bend towards the north. Fine. And here let us draw one more normal. This is the second normal. And here what happens? Light ray will, actually it should travel in this direction, but light ray will bend away from the north. So this is what is happening now. Okay, ma? So what is the difference between previous condition and this condition? Previously in convex lens, light was converging, no? Light was coming and falling on the principal axis. Okay, but here light is moving away from the principal axis. So therefore this type of lens, what you call concave lens, is a diverging lens. It makes the light rays move away from the principal axis. Okay. So here also refraction is taking place at two surfaces. So therefore what I do? So for example, if it is a convex lens, okay, this is the optical center. This is the aperture, principal axis, and this is the optical center. So consider if here there is an object. So light ray entering, then it will converge. It will diverge. Light rays entering the principal lens, and it will also diverge from its actual path. This is what will happen. Okay. So therefore, concave lens is what kind of lens? Concave lens is a diverging lens. It always diverges the light rays away from the principal axis. That is what is happening now. Two refractions are taking place. First surface as well as second surface. And both of them, they are diverging. But we don't represent by both, we represent by only one divergence. Clear now? I take divergence at the center and I will try to draw the light rays. Similarly, when light rays, if they are passing parallel to the principal axis. Clear now? So consider this is a concave lens. Are you able to understand, ma? So this is the principal axis, this is the optical center. Now light rays passing parallel to the principal axis. How they will perform? They will move away from the principal axis. But if you extend them, they will meet somewhere here. Okay. Similarly, this light will be reflected like this, and if you extend them, they will meet somewhere here. And what is this point called as? This will become the focus. Okay. Now again, what is the difference between previous condition and this condition? Previously, we got a real focus. No? Light rays, they were focusing at one particular point. when light rays, when they were parallel to the principal axis. But here, light rays, they are not meeting at a point. They are diverging. Clear now? But if you extend them, they are meeting somewhere in the same side of the object. Object is also present on this side, no? Focus is also present on the same side. Clear now? So this kind of focus, what you call, this is a virtual focus, not real. Are you able to understand? Virtual focus. So therefore what I say, all concave lenses, they will form virtual focus. And all convex lenses, they will form real focus. That's the difference between concave and convex. Convex lens is a converging lens. Concave lens is a diverging lens. Fine? That's it. Okay. So these are the lenses properties up to NEET level. Fine? Completed no more? Okay. Then we study a formula which is called as lens maker's formula. Okay, ma? Lens maker's formula. What is meant by lens maker's formula? In the name only we have, no? What is the formula used by the makers of the lens, who manufacture the lens? For example, if they want a particular lens of particular focal length, then they use this formula. Are you able to understand? See, consider this is one convex lens, double convex lens. Okay. Now, if you see at the first surface, radius of curvature of the first surface is very big, no? Okay, no? Because it is more flatter. So therefore, its radius of curvature will be very big. Okay, I can call it as R1. But if you see the second refracting surface, radius of curvature is very small, which is R2. So depending on R1 and R2 values only, the total focal length of this lens can be decided. Okay, and what is that formula? 1 by f is equals to mu minus 1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. So this equation is called as the formula of makers of lens. So lens makers, they use this formula. So 1 by f is equals to mu minus 1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Are you able to understand? So what is meant by mu here? Mu is the refractive index of this glass. Okay. R1 is what? R1 is the radius of curvature of the first surface. R2 is what? R2 is the radius of curvature of the second surface. Okay. So if you change R1 and R2 values, focal length also will change, no? So this is the formula used by them. Okay. So if Sima here, this is glass and surrounding glass air is present. So mu 1 is 1. Clear, no? Mu 2 is mu here. Are you able to understand? Mu 1 is air. It is surrounded by air only, no? And mu 2, that is refractive index of a glass, is mu. So therefore I have used this formula. 1 by f is equals to mu minus 1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. So here what I can say, so surrounding medium is air. Okay, ma? If a surrounding medium is water, then what I have to do? It means this lens I have kept in water. Are you able to understand, ma? Then I cannot use this formula, no? Because surrounding medium, if it changes, how light enters this lens also will change. Clear? In that condition, I have to use 1 by f is equals to, so mu 2 divided by mu 1 minus 1 multiplied by 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. So this is the relation which we are supposed to use. So in the process of derivation only, we will understand this one. Derivation we are not doing no more, so two conditions we are writing. Fine? So this is the equation we can use in which condition? If the first medium is not air. Okay, no? For example, if the lens is immersed in water, then water's refractive index is not 1, no, it is 1.33. Okay. So therefore mu 2 is refractive index of glass. Mu 1 is refractive index of medium in which this lens is placed. Are you able to understand? So by using this formula, you can calculate the focal length of, or you can manufacture lens of your required focal length. Fine? That's it. So after that we will study a formula of lens which is called as lens formula. Okay, no? Lens formula. What is Lens formula? So the relation between V, U and F, this is called as Lens formula. Are you able to understand? Relation between image distance, object distance and focal length. This relation is nothing but Lens formula. So what is the formula? 1 by V minus 1 by U is equals to 1 by F. So this formula is called as Lens formula. Are you able to understand? Then we study about magnification. Okay. What is meant by magnification? When compared to the size of the object, what is the size of the image? That ratio is called as magnification. Already we studied in mirrors. No? Okay. Magnification means what? Height of the image divided by height of object. Okay. That is when compared to the size of the object, what is the size of the image? That ratio is called as magnification. So in mirrors, what is the formula we used for magnification? In mirrors we used magnification is equals to H2 divided by H1 or minus V divided by U. So here that minus we will remove. So here what is the formula for magnification? H2 divided by H1, this is equals to V by U. So this is the equation for magnification. Are you able to understand? So in mirrors we got minus V by U. No? Here we don't get minus V by U, just I will get V by U. Okay, man? And what is H2? Height of the image. H1 is the height of the object. Clear? So write that one also. H2 is height of image and H1 is height of object. Okay, ma'am? And in all these formulae, always you must use the sign conventions. In mirrors we have written the sign conventions, no, ma'am? Same sign conventions we will use here also. What are the sign conventions we have used in the case of mirrors? Every distance you should measure from pole. That's what we discussed. And here instead of pole we have optical center. Every distance you should measure from optical center. So if you are measuring in the direction of light, then such distances are positive. If you are measuring in the direction, opposite direction to the direction of light, then such distances are negative. Same concept here also. If you are measuring the heights above the principal axis, then such heights are positive. If you are measuring the heights below the principal axis, such heights are negative. Same sign conventions which we used in mirrors, here also we will use. Okay. So make a note of that point. What is the note point we have to write? Sign conventions are exactly similar to that of mirrors. Curved mirrors we have studied. Now same sign conventions we will use here also. Okay. And in mirrors we have derived a relation between magnification and focal length also. Okay, we have done some calculations and we have derived the relations between magnification and focal length. In one formula U was present, in one formula V was present. So try to derive the same equations by using these two. Okay, try change. So these are the two equations of magnification, additional equations. So here what I have done, so to the lens formula, first of all I have multiplied by V on both sides, clear now? So that V by V will become 1 and here I will get V by U. And V by U is nothing but magnification. So take V by U on one side, then this is the equation which I got. F minus V divided by F. Okay. Then the same lens formula I have multiplied by U. Okay, once I multiply by U, then this is the equation which I got. Okay, so U plus F divided by F, or you can write reciprocal is what I require now, V by U. So F divided by F plus U. Okay. Now can you say what is the difference between these equations and magnification formulas for mirrors? For mirrors, what are the formulas we got for magnification? Here is there any change? Same equation for mirror also, F minus V divided by F. But here, for mirror we get F by F minus U, but here we are getting plus. So that is the only difference. For mirrors, this formula remains the same, F minus V by F, but for lens, instead of minus, you have to write plus. So that is the difference between magnification of mirror formula and lens formula. Okay, now these small differences you should remember. Otherwise, always you will get confused. Fine? That's it. So make a note up to here. Okay, ma? So after that we will study about image formation in the case of lenses. Okay, ma? Image formation completed now. Make a note.